Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studio, it's time for the GNFCC 400 Insider. Connect, build, and grow with the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Callie Boatwright. I am the president and CEO of the Greater North Fulton Chamber, and I want to welcome you all to our June webinar series on economic recovery in North Fulton. The Greater North Fulton Chamber is extremely happy to partner with our friends at Roswell Inc. for this webinar series. And I want to ask Steve if he'd like to say just a few words on behalf of Roswell Inc. Steve Stroud?
Yeah, thank you, Callie. Good morning, Greater North Fulton Chamber and Roswell Inc. This is a great partnership that we have with the Chamber. As you know, and you will hear me say over and over, our Chamber is the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce in the city of Roswell. So we thank you for your partnership today, but more importantly, we thank you for the opportunity to bring these experts in to help us as we navigate these new waters. And really, you know, the Chamber and Roswell Inc. are here to support you as businesses. So we're here 24/7. Reach out to us. Be sure and not forget that we're here constantly to help make your business successful. So thank you for the opportunity today, and I'm looking forward to hearing and picking up some great tips and marketing ideas to help Roswell Inc. and to help the community.
I agree, Steve. Thank you. It's been so great working with you. This is actually the last in our series as we complete our month of June. I can't believe that, but that is where we are. And I just want to say thank you to you and your whole team. You have been a pleasure to partner with, and we would do this anytime. And I'll be honest, Steve, to your point, when this topic kind of started getting talked about, I really thought it would be great for the Chamber as well as our members. So I'm selfishly looking forward to it myself, just like you said. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, a few housekeeping instructions. You may have noticed that everyone has been muted upon entry. That is because we have nearly 100 participants today. So we want to keep everybody's microphones on mute to make sure we can avoid any background noise. Also, we have some great panelists today, and we expect that you might have some questions. If you do, please use the Q&A feature, and we will take care of all those questions at the end of the presentation. We will definitely try to get to as many as we possibly can. I want to start by introducing our sponsors. Special thanks to our media sponsor, John Ray with North Fulton Business Radio X. This webinar is being recorded and it will be available following the presentation. And don't worry, you don't actually have to do anything to get that. We will send that directly to you through email, and that link will also be available today in our weekly Chamber League newsletter and, of course, on our website as always. So thank you very much to John Ray. We have two forum sponsors today. Our first sponsor is the Malden Group. The Malden Group is an award-winning 5-star rated small business digital advertising agency with a passion for helping companies rise to the top. They're a talented stream of professional copywriters, graphic designers, web designers, social media managers, and paid ad specialists that strategize a plan for lead generation and for increased sales. I want to say good morning to Bonnie Malden, and thank you for sponsoring today's forum. Bonnie, you're also on our board of directors and part of our chairman's circle, so thank you for that as well. Would you like to say a few words on behalf of the Malden Group?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here on the panel today. I'm so excited about sharing great information to help small businesses in our community. Again, the Malden Group is a professional web design and internet marketing agency that specializes in helping businesses generate more leads online. And we're here to partner with you to transfer some of your business functions to an online platform, automate your sales and marketing process, and create and develop e-courses for your clients and your staff. So we're so excited about the opportunity to be here. We have some great information in store.
Thank you, Bonnie. We look forward to hearing more from you shortly, as you're also one of our panelists. So thank you for doing that as well. Our next sponsor for today's forum is the Vineyard Johns Creek. Vineyard Johns Creek is a new assisted living and memory care community that is currently under construction in Johns Creek. At Vineyard, their mission is simple: to grow purposeful communities that make a positive impact on people and on our planet. What does that mean for you? A continuum of customized care, programming, amenities that aim to engage, inspire, and elevate your life at every stage. Hi, Annette. We're really excited to have you today, and thank you for sponsoring today's webinar. Would you like to say a few words on behalf of the Vineyard Johns Creek?
Yes, and thank you so much for the opportunity to be part of you guys. We're happy to be here. And just to kind of tag along on to what you said about our mission, there's different ways that we're doing that. One, I think that's different from others is that our first focus is also actually on our employees more so than our residents. And I think that shocks a lot of people, but that's mainly because if they provide the care to our residents, and if they're not happy and healthy people and individuals, they can't provide the best of care, and that's what we expect. And ways we do that is we give them the training they need for their job, but also beyond that, we're going to provide opportunities for training on things like health, nutrition, finances, budgeting, just time management, how to be a successful individual, not just a successful employee. And I think that's one thing that's different. And then also for our residents, one of our mottos is life your way. And what that means is we're going to get to know them, everything we can about them, where they've been, what they've done, what they want to do in their future, because they still have a bright future, and then conform to them more so than expecting them to conform to us. And one of the ways we do that for all of them is all-day dining, because not everybody likes to eat at the same time. So we'll have dining all day long. And then also our Vineyard Connect, which is our smart technology, and it optimizes safety with not only smart thermostats and lighting and motion sensors, but also user-friendly tablets. Each resident will receive their own tablet, and Alexa access to the calendars, the activities, any events, and communication with their family too. And then finally, Vineyard Gives, which is designed to provide opportunities to the residents and the staff to participate in community and global causes that they care about. Because I think all of us need a purpose, and that is part of that program, to provide them with a purpose. But it also all goes back to leaving the world better than we found it. And that's what we're excited about.
Thank you, Annette. And I think we've got a quick video to show, if we can get that. All right, perfect.
Oh, is the sound on?
Yeah, we're not getting sound. I apologize.
Mm-mm.
We one of our trainings this month was Zoom tips and tricks, and so we're still learning some of those in all candor. So we will. How about we try to come back to that, Annette? I just want to make sure that we move forward with the presentation. We'll see if we can figure it out on the back end. I appreciate Annette Fields and your comments regarding Vineyard Johns Creek. I'm excited to get it over once it's ready and be able to do the real tour. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So we have 3 great sponsors for a great webinar, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from our sales and marketing executives today on how to market and sell a little differently post-pandemic. So much has changed in the last 3 months, and some best practice advice is always going to be helpful. So let's get started. Our panel today will be Ben Cagle with Cagle Consulting Partners, Lisa Tilt with Full Tilt Consulting, and Bonnie Malden with the Malden Group. Our first panelist is Ben Cagle with Cagle Consulting Partners. Ben is the managing partner of Cagle Consulting Partners, an advisory firm focused on helping clients accelerate revenue growth, understand and take advantage of market disruptions, innovate new solutions, and build and scale organizations. Ben also provides global sales training for IBM, Cisco, and SAS. Ben served as a division president for a Global 100 company, was a consulting partner at HP Enterprise and CSC Consulting, and has led various technology, professional service, and data analytics firm and startups. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you working with us here, as well as our Tech 400 committee and our members. It appears are ready to find out about getting back into selling mode. Since your logo happens to be a shark, we thought you would be the right one to ask the big question, is it safe to go back in the water? Can you give us some ideas on how to sell to our customers in the midst of where we are?
Yeah, thanks, Callie. Yeah, thanks for having me. Look forward to the being part of the discussion with Bonnie and Lisa. Short answer is, yeah, you better be in the water. Unfortunately, the water has changed. So how you market, how you sell, what you sell, and possibly even who you sell to is changing. A lot of the clients I'm talking to, the big companies as well as our local companies here in the community, are thinking about how to respond to this change. So what I thought we would do is put together a framework that I've used, whether, again, I'm running a company with less than $1 million in revenue with a startup or up to over 100 million. The principles are still the same. And I think it will help tee up our conversation with Lisa and Bonnie as well. So if you think about revenue there across, this is a very busy slide, but across the top, you've got that customer journey. How do you create awareness and interest and interact? And how do you actually continue to communicate with your customer? How do you expand your business, regardless if you're selling products or services? So on the left side here, you've got the target, positioning, and solution. What I would recommend everyone would do is revisit those key principles. Are you targeting not just the right company, the right size, but the right person? Or has your value proposition changed in terms of the solution of the product you're solving? Or does your position need to be updated that your customers may not see you in this new light given the changes of COVID-19 and what's going on there? So we won't touch on the left side of this, the targeting, the position, the compelling content, and the messaging. I'll leave that to Bonnie and Lisa in terms of how you execute that. But in the middle of the funnel, you have to put all the pieces together from a revenue standpoint, from marketing, biz dev, lead gen, sales approach, account management. So at Kegel Consulting Partners, we help pull all of that together, and we actually work with other firms like Lisa's and Bonnie. So with this context, if you change any of those parameters on the left side, your customers' needs have changed, your positioning changed, your solutions changed, you really need to update your thinking and possibly think about how your sales reps are going to market and, quite frankly, how they're creating value for their customers. So I've talked to a lot of different companies, and so what's changed? What do we need to change or think about in today's market? So what I'd like to share is I think there's 3 crisis leadership phases that your customers are going through, and probably we're all going through, quite frankly. The other thing is just to make sure that you're also thinking like your customer. What are their priority filters given today's environment? The other thing is there's a principle that I think all of us, again, whether you're selling real estate, copiers, you're a banker, how do you create value with each interaction? Because all of us are stressed. All of us are on Zoom meetings and web meetings. How do you create value at each interaction? And then also something that I think we need to be very intentional about, and I'm talking to a lot of leaders about this, is that the macro industry trends are accelerated. So if you're in retail, yes, your mobile device, your customers want to order from your mobile device, but pickup and delivery, that's accelerated. I think we've all experienced that. If you're a banker, again, omni-channel, in other words, instead of coming into the branch, can I do it on my mobile phone? So that transition has been accelerated. If you're in real estate, I've seen one real estate agent walking around with a smartphone doing a virtual walkthrough versus getting her client into the home. Manufacturing, supply chains, those are changing. Even in healthcare, I mean, we're seeing, telemedicine is changing as well. So think about not only what your industry is going through, but your customer or your customers' industries are going through around this. So these are the 4 things that I think all leaders are trying to be intentional around, not just how you sell, but how you market and how you actually think about your company and your company's future given into this. So let's touch on the three crisis leadership. This is a busy slide. I'm a consultant. I'm not going to walk you through every bullet point. The big takeaway here is 3 things. And I actually developed this when I was leading an organization locally here in Atlanta during the last economic downturn where we had the Great Recession. So there's a triage phase right now. I think everyone's still in that kind of triage phase. What's going on? We had to cut salaries. We had to, take some tough decisions, but they're really temporary, right? We furloughed people and all that. And your customers have probably done that. So they had to quickly react. It was I call it triage because you want to save the patient, don't kill the patient in terms of your business, but really a short-term plan. What I think we're moving into with multiple industries is phase two, and this is foundational change. And I'm seeing two groups of customers, again, across all industries and all services. Either you've got one group that's saying, you know what, the current state's not sustainable. So I know that some projections in Georgia, for instance, with restaurants, they say 30% of restaurants may close. So that may be one group, especially if you're consumer oriented. This is a tough on, consumer spend, consumer discretionary spend. So there may be, this isn't sustainable. We have to make permanent cuts. We have to, downsize our business, right size our business, and think differently. In some cases, you've got to even fire unprofitable customers. And I had to go through that experience as well when we had to downsize during the Great Recession. We had to tell no to GM and Boeing and some of the other customers. So think about your customers, and it may not be these exact three buckets, but where is your customer in terms of where they are in the decision process? And again, I think most industries are moving into, okay, this is real. COVID-19 is here to stay. The impact's permanent. What are the foundational changes? But as we all know, you can't save your way to a future. So eventually people will get into phase three. And some industries are already in phase three saying, hey, look, never let a good crisis go to waste. How do we actually create new services, new revenue to go after it? So the coaching here is just think about your own customers. If you're selling, you're the entrepreneur, you're selling your own, to your customers, you're relating to them. Or if your sales force is out there, force them to have the conversation. Where is our customer base in their crisis leadership? And quite frankly, how do we respond to that? So that's level one, okay, kind of the first change in the market. Hopefully that makes sense. Second thing is, in triage, that first phase, what are your customers' filters? And we've all seen this, right? But let's be intentional around what people are actually doing. Obviously, employee safety is first, well-being, physical, impact to customers, disruption to, again, your customers' customers or their vendors, their supply chain as well. The financial impacts, closing offices, outsourcing. So this was what was happening in triage, right? So we all experienced it. We all read the headlines. We all had conversations, and I think we've all propped up our friends and family that are going through this, right? So as you move into the second phase, all of these issues are going to become permanent and foundational, and it may impact your relationship with your customer and how you sell. So again, work with your sales force or work with your leadership team to walk through all of these issues and saying, do we really understand what's going on with the customers? And more importantly, how do we respond to that? The third concept I like to put out here in today's world in terms of how you sell and going in. I wasn't going to get into sales techniques, sales processes, all that. You should be selling. You should be relating to your customers. I was on the buy side. I wanted to hear from my vendor partners, but I didn't have time to have the conversation. So I was thinking about how do you create value and how do your sales reps create value at every customer interaction, right? First of all, respect my time. If I'm the customer, respect my time. I'm busy, but I still want to hear from you. The other thing is be relevant and align with my priorities. I'm changing. I'm going through phase one, phase two, possibly phase three. Understand what's going on in my business, how you create value. And you may be outside, your sales reps may be outside looking in at your customer, but make sure you're helping them connect the dots. What's going on in the business? What's going on in the market? What are you hearing? Again, not being gossipy, not telling anyone's trade secrets, but helping your customers understand this change. I've seen so many sales reps that it wasn't related to their product or services. They actually got in and actually were talking about, hey, we heard this is happening in real estate. We think this may translate into banking, and just help connect the dots because we're all talking, we're all having different conversations. The other thing is tell me something I don't know and tell me something I need to know. So think about how you create value at every interaction for your customer, even though it's a quick email, a quick call, or working into their teams and everything else. So I think, Callie, as we think about this, and Bonnie and Lisa, we need to think differently. You can't play the same game better. You can't just work better. Can't work harder and expect a different result. Think differently on these three dimensions in terms of, where your customer is and their planning, their priorities, their priority framework, and how you create value. And I think that's really going to serve us all well because the world is changing so rapidly. You need to create value and get in there and stay in front of your customers and stay in, top of mind, get customer mind share by providing them value, either related to your service or product or not related to your service or product. All right. So that is the end of my prepared slides there. So we will go with that again. These slides, if you'd like this, are available, or just email me. Ben at kegelpartners.com, or check out my website as well, kegelpartners.com. Or obviously touch base with Stacy or Callie or anyone at the chamber, and they'll get you these slides. So thank you very much for letting me tee it up and go first. I will stop sharing here.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate it.
And hopefully that was a quick run through there. I don't think any questions popped up, but happy to, answer any questions or have follow-up conversations as needed.
I appreciate it very much. And we can certainly include your slides when we send out at the end as well. But thank you. I appreciate it. We've known each other for a couple of years now, and I know you've got a great wealth of knowledge in this arena. So I just appreciate you sharing with everybody. So next, we are going to hear from Lisa Tilt with Full Tilt Consulting. Lisa founded Full Tilt Consulting in 2006 to unify her love of business communications dedicated to mentoring and passion for entrepreneurship. Full Tilt is a marketing communications firm specializing in augmenting brands and their executives through owned content and internal communications programs. They help clients to pinpoint the key business areas they want to own, find something distinctive to say about it, and then deliver those messages through strategic channels. Sounds like it aligns really well with what Ben just told us we needed to do. Lisa, it is so great to have you with us today. Our members want to send the right message, obviously, to their customers and their clients. So can you give us some best practice advice on how to change your communications to reflect this new business model?
Happy to. Thank you, Callie. And it was can you guys hear me? Okay, good. Kind of out in a window here. So Ben did set me up nicely, and I know Bonnie will take us home because we all have very distinct areas within our business. And I call this avoiding quicksand because, you can't drown in quicksand, which thanks to 3 months of distance learning, I sat in on a 4th grade science lesson, and sure, all you parents can commiserate, but it's easy so you're stuck, right? And it's really easy to do that with communications. Quicksand is too soft. It doesn't hold anything up, but a strong communication strategy or approach to how you're communicating. Every one of those things that Ben talks about is a communication point with one of your stakeholders, internal, external, and all of that stuff. So this will give you the strong foundation for how do we advance? There we go. So, 2020 brought, and we're only halfway through, so that's interesting. So many unexpected moments in time, important moments in time, which really required all businesses to think strategically and think quickly on how they were going to respond. So 3 particular areas. So the forced pivot in innovation. And innovation could mean, not a complete overhaul of your business, but just how you are going to communicate with your audiences and whatever that means. How are you going to go to work? How are you going to shift your team remote? And as we have all talked about, this reimagining will have lasting impact and be sort of forever in our realm now. When we're in crisis, leaders are really required to operate in the past, present, and future all at the same time, right? So while we're trying to rethink and keep our teams feeling safe, and we have a squirrel over here and a bright light over here, we also have to recover. So everything is happening simultaneously. And as we're all spinning all these plates as business leaders, there are more and more opportunities for inconsistencies to creep into our business, right? And so why is this important to business communications? All of these things are prompts, right, to give us an opportunity, but also really an obligation to make sure that we are crystal clear in how we're communicating, that we're not over communicating because that fills with noise, but that we're doing it in a very specific way. So how has business communications changed? There is an expectation that people, all of your stakeholders, again, employees, customers, clients, investors, everybody is hearing from the organization and hearing more often. everyone that does business with you, everybody that works from you, buys from you, engages with you. And all of these things here, quick and strategic response from leadership, full transparency. Enron started that years ago. It's only gotten more and more and more as an expectation of how you're going to operate an organization today. 4 generations in the workplace, which means everyone needs to be communicated in different ways. And that consistency in communication. What's the plan? How are we going to do the plan? Yes, we're working the plan. Here are the results of how we communicate the plan. So it's not one and done. Now, I will say all of these things, all of these trends have been in motion for years, right? But, and I think, Ben, you mentioned this too, everything has been accelerated with COVID-19, but with everything that 2020 is going to bring us. So that's fun. Companies are being held accountable for what they say. Absolutely. Again, not new. However, the landscape has changed so much that the expectations are what's mostly changed. So inform, educate, and engage. All companies should be doing this. But what does that look like? Does that message change? Does it mean that the frequency of how you've communicated changes? Probably both of those. Two-way communication, instant feedback. Bonnie's going to delve into the digital realm of marketing. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely real time. You will know in real time if you've had a misstep in communications, in operations, which leads to many, many more channels. People are communicating with themselves. Employees are communicating, sharing what's going on with the organization. Your customers are doing the same thing. The good thing is that they're also going to reward you, right? So if you are a company that's doing well by doing good, giving back to the community, being transparent, being fully engaged in your marketplace, you'll get rewarded for that, which is a good thing. So one of the most important aspects here, don't be tone deaf, right? Someone in your organization needs to have their ear, ideally more than someone, but somebody needs to know what's happening in the world, know what's happening in your industry, your communities where you live, work, and play, and then communicate accordingly, right? So we're in a pandemic, recovery, resurgence. That's a big part of the news right now. Where are we headed into the fall? How will schools start? What will that look like? What does that mean for working parents? There's all kinds of aspects here. And we look at it week by week. We used to look at communication sort of month by month. Back in the day, I've been doing this a while, it was, what's your annual marketing plan? Well, that has been tossed out the window for years. Now we almost have weekly and monthly plans. And so that's important. An offshoot of that is, worry and fear look different for everyone. That's job related, income related, health related. Everything has been amplified from that perspective. So as we are looking to reopen and get back into the workforce, companies and business leaders specifically have to have that high level of empathy as they're communicating with their employees. What does it look like to get back into the office? Or does remote learning or remote working still exist? And if so, the long-term aspects of that in terms of creating employee culture, creating culture. Do people need to stay home because their immune systems are compromised? Do they have children that are like that? There's so many levels that need to be considered today as we are being responsible business owners. Black Lives Matter movement, right at the same time, hit as it should. But organizations that are not paying attention, at the very least, to what's going on. And Black Lives Matter means diversity, equity, inclusion, right? It's not just about Black people. We're literally in Gay Pride Month. There's so many aspects that businesses need to pay attention to. And it's no longer a case where a business can say, oh, well, that's going out and, that's going on in society and with my employees. It is all meshed together. It's how employees are feeling when they come to the office. It is, distractions and allowing them the voice that they need, that all of us need to have. And so what does an organization look like today that is truly committed to inclusion? It's an election year. And as politics get more and more and more divisive, it's important as an organization on how you're going to communicate that to employees. I'm not saying get political, whatever you want to do from that aspect, but it's important that you know and you recognize what's going on in the world. If, for example, Blackout Tuesday a couple weeks ago, were you emailing a special about, a hamburger or something, right? So just be aware what's going on in your surroundings. So I'm going to just briefly cover 3 approaches to business communications that are important when connecting with all your stakeholders. And they're more than this, but I think these are the 3 that are most relevant. So when I say communicating with emotion, I'm not saying be emotional, right? I'm talking about empathy. Business at its core, the businesses who are the most successful are about the human element. And that's what people are reacting to, right? They're not doing business with a press release or a website or, a sales model. They're doing business with the person that's either on the other side of the phone or somebody that they've created a relationship with. So the leaders and certainly the organizations that speak with empathy will stand out. And this helps in retaining employees as much as anything else, which is going to be a big part of how we come back nice and strong. Credibility. What are the ways that you're informing your stakeholders? Are you if I'm working or engaging with a brand, it's probably because they've made me sort of feel a certain way, shared information that I can turn around to my friends and look really smart and share something, or I feel connected in some way, or they've given me a high quality product that I want to go back to. So the credibility within your world and what you are offering, how you convey that right now, because consumers are making decisions now with the companies they will forever do business with or forever not do business with. And again, it goes back to all those things we talked about on the slide about being aware of your surroundings. And then, we've probably all of us heard sort of storytelling as an important part of business in communications. So, and when we share a story or we talk with somebody either that we've known for a long time or we met, we don't talk in sort of words. Images are conjured up in our mind. When we're talking about going horseback riding on vacation in Costa Rica, you're not looking at the letters HORSE, right? You're picturing a beautiful animal galloping wherever. And so when we talk about, and business is no different than that, right? If we talk about that human element, how are we communicating in a way that's conjuring up some sort of story? Why did you start your business? How did you persevere through this pandemic? What are your employees' stories? How did they overcome? Putting that face to the organization is an important part of it. So, what do we say? When, where, how do we say it? And we only have impact if the right people are hearing it. Otherwise, it's just noise. And frankly, it's a waste of your time, right? We can't speak to everybody. We can speak to the people who will really find value in what we're offering. So there's, I think, 5 things here about starting with a clear understanding of who has an interest in what you have to say. Is it somebody that's buying something from you? Are you, financial services and you're helping them get to retirement? All something new in today's environment. Really getting a clear understanding of who your target is. Do you know what they want to hear from you? Perhaps this would be engaging a survey. This has changed. How people want to be communicated with in this time frame of COVID and diversity and inclusion. People want to hear different things. And you might not know what that is. So if you don't, get familiar with that pretty quickly. What is it appropriate for your company to say? Again, something that's changed. How can you provide a sense of security if that's relevant to your business? How can you provide information, something to help them get through a specific time? But keep within your brand, right? Don't go out of that, because then people won't know how to sort of register who you are, what you're trying to say. Again, we're not going to be all things to all people. So be really good in your sphere. How will your message be received? Again, 4 generations in the workforce, that's different for everybody. But at least try and get a handle on the bigger macro trends of how you're going to communicate what you're going to say. And then the delivery points of that message. Are people hearing you, or are you sort of screaming out into the netherworld? Are you reaching them? How are they engaging? Are they responding to how you communicate? And if not, why? And is it the message? Is it the channel? Is it the mechanism? What does all that look like? So my last 2 slides here, I'm just going to touch on it. It's sort of an 8-step process that's helpful when you have fairly significant news to share, right? Because employees and consumers are very discerning these days and have higher expectations about how companies communicate with them. So the plan is, that hopefully looking through these 8 steps will help you avoid missteps. Now, I'm going through this quickly, but my team's put together a great tool that, and we're working on finalizing that we're happy to email, that kind of touches on some of these key points, as well as walking you through these 8 steps. So again, just touch on these. Desired outcome. Really, what is it that you want to communicate? And making sure it's not too broad, that it's specific enough, but you're not over-promising. We have cross-functional in here because it's important that it's not just sort of one person trying to figure out what to say. Make sure that it's a small group of people who are looking through a diverse lens of how this communication or announcement might be received, to make sure that you're not kind of you're avoiding blind spots. Data and expertise. If this small group needs to make informed decisions, and in order to do that, they need to have access to internal or external experts, and what that might look like to make recommendations to leadership. Stakeholders, who are all the people who should receive your message, in order to do that, and then make a prioritized list. Because if this is really an internal communications message first, know that anything internal is also external, right? So how do you have to manage that message, or how do you get in front of it by also having an external component to even something that might seem internal? Call to action. How do you want people to engage with what you say, and what are you asking them to do? Several touch points. You can't hear something once and expect that they have actually heard it, that we have actually heard it, right? We're creatures of habit that kind of come in and take in information in many, many different ways. And there's some, sort of examples here. Are you doing a video? Do you follow up with a Q&A? Do you have a lunch and learn with an expert that comes in? Message delivery and how many touch points you have are important. All the channels. Identify all your mediums. This doesn't mean, by the way, go out and try and engage on every channel. It means pick the channels that you have that reach your target audience and do that very well and very consistently over and over again. And then what's the cadence? How are you going to deliver? How many times are you going to deliver this one particular message? How many different ways are you going to say it? And then set that expectation with your stakeholders that, okay, and in a week, I'm going to follow up and tell you the results, or I don't have all the answers now, which by the way is okay. We have more levity to do that, and not overpromise. Say, I don't have the answers right now. These are the steps I'm working to get those answers, and I will follow up with you in 10 days. So again, even communicating how you're going to communicate will solve an enormous amount of angst among not only sort of your internal folks, but external as well. So I know I went fast, but that's me. And I'm excited to hear, like I said, email me. Happy to have any conversations. I know we'll answer questions later, and I'll toss it back to you, Callie.
Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. There's so much going on around us right now. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with all of the different messaging coming from so many different sources. And sometimes that makes us less than human as we're trying to shift through all of that. So I appreciate you pointing out that we need to be intentional. I appreciate that very much. So our final panelist, last but certainly not least, is Bonnie Malden with the Malden Group. Bonnie has been featured in the Huffington Post, Fox News, CNN, the AJC, and the movie The Inner Way. She left her career in medicine to open her own marketing agency that now serves multi-million-dollar companies nationwide. Her company, the Malden Group, is ranked as a top 10 SEO and PPC agency in Atlanta by expertise.com, and her team specializes in serving small businesses with professional web design, internet marketing, and business development training. Bonnie also serves as the president of the Sales and Marketing Academy, and as I mentioned before, serves on our board of directors for the Greater North Fulton Chamber. Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us today. And it looks like a lot of our businesses really want to work on their digital strategy. So maybe let's focus there, and you can provide some marketing tips that you can give our members.
Absolutely. It's an honor and privilege to be with you today to share some amazing tips to help you get through this pandemic and social unrest and all this pandemonium with our businesses. Ben and Lisa really teed it up for me today. Ben came out with an incredible sales funnel diagram for us, telling us to think differently and to share something new with our clients. And then Lisa came in and just shared with us that we need to be aware of our surroundings, to have a higher level of empathy, and to build credibility and to share stories. And so I want to come in and share with you a few ways to automate your sales and marketing process and to add a few multiple streams of income to your business so you can survive this. So just getting started here. I want to talk to you today about marketing automation. Marketing automation refers to using software platforms to more effectively market on multiple channels online and automate repetitive tasks. So since we are now in the process of doing more things online than we used to do, I want to talk to you about how to generate more leads and to acclimate your sales team to an online environment. And that starts with the sales funnel. I have a more simplified sales funnel for you. It's in 3 stages. First one, awareness. You need to create awareness about who you are, what you do, and what your company does to make you unique. And you can do that by using videos. Videos increase conversion rates on your website by over 80%. That means when people see a video on your website, they spend more time on your website and they digest the information better, and they are more likely to give you a call or fill out a form on your website. So videos are essential nowadays. It doesn't have to be something super elaborate, but just an informational video with text and music can be great. A video of you in front of your computer like you're watching right now can be great. And then also a video of a cartoon or a spokesperson could be great. But the types of videos that you need to have on your website and posting on social media include a brand video about us. This is who we are. This is our origin story. This is why we do what we do. This is who we serve. Brand video. Okay. You need an employee recruitment video. This is a video of your office surroundings, the work environment, and what it's like to work in your place of business. This is going to recruit top talent. You have a lot of people out of work right now. This is the time to start scouting for the best talent, because your business is only as good as the team that's in it. So now's the time to start getting resumes. Even if you're not ready to hire right now, get those resumes from people who are highly qualified and can fill the gaps that you need in your business. You need a video to show how great it is to work for your company. And then next, you need some type of service or product video to really explain the nuances of the service that you offer, how you offer it, and why it's great, and how it can benefit. Next, you need to start writing blogs. Blogs are like little magazine articles, but on your website. And you can take those blogs and you share it on social media, and it shows your authority and your credibility and your validity of what you do and how you do it and why you're great. So if you have blogs and you're posting them at least once a week, you are adding more content to your website, which helps you rank higher in Google. And you're sharing it on social media, solving the pain points of the ideal customers that are seeing this content. So if you are answering questions, addressing the problems that your customers are having in these blog posts, then you are seen as the authority on that topic, and you are brought top of mind when your services are needed. So blogs are huge, videos are huge. Next, social media posts. Okay, let's pick at least 2 or 3 social media platforms that your ideal client spends time on, whether that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Find the ones that has your demographic, and then you make a commitment. You hear me? A commitment to post at least once a day on these platforms, or at least once a week on these platforms. You want a consistent schedule of high-level, highly engaging content that's going to solve problems, that's going to answer questions, that's going to inform, engage, and entertain. So if you have this great content posting on these channels, you're literally getting free access to your ideal audience on a regular basis. And then you're getting these impressions, just like watching a TV commercial, you're getting these impressions in front of thousands of people every day. And that's going to accumulate over time and have all these people knowing who it is that is running your business, how you offer your service, why your services are great. So social media is imperative. Also, you can create awareness with fun items like infographics. Infographics are those fun little pictures that you see with fun facts on them. And you can answer questions and solve problems using infographics. And then something else fun, quizzes. You can put a quick quiz out there and say, did you know this and did you know that? And someone might say, no, I didn't know that. And then that brings awareness for your brand. So these are things that can be shared through social media, share it through your website, and share it through email. And once you have these pieces of content, you have like a toolbox that your salespeople can use to create awareness for your brand. Just like a carpenter has a toolbox with hammers and nails and pliers and screwdrivers, your salespeople, you business owners out there, you need a library of content. You need a toolbox of content like videos and blogs and social media posts, infographics, and quizzes in order to get your name out there, awareness to the right audience. Okay, next stage of the sales funnel is consideration. So now they know who you are because they watched your video, they saw your website, they read your blog, they did your quiz, they saw your infographic. Great. This company really has something going on here. I think I need to use their services. Now you're at consideration stage. I'm thinking about it. So this is when you have them subscribe to your newsletter that goes out at least once or twice a month. Okay. You invite them to an event like a webinar, like you're on right now. Offer a webinar at least once a month that you can invite your prospects to. You can send them a white paper that solves a problem that people in their industry usually goes through. And then you can, again, have webinars. Other types of events are in-person events, seminars. Remember those? And once we're in a place where we feel comfortable with conferences and things like that, add that to your events mix. And then once they consider you and they're ready to get started, they are in the decision phase because they have received multiple quotes from multiple businesses just like yours. And they are in this process of figuring out which company to use. And usually a company will send out an admin or someone in a C-suite position to create this short list of companies to work with. And then the team comes together and they look through all the proposals and then they decide, okay, who are we going to work with? This is when you pull out the case studies. These are companies that I've worked with. This is the problem they had. This is the problem that I solved for them. This is how I did it. You want to have optimum pricing, not too high, not too low, right in a place that they're ready to buy. And then you want to offer demos. If you have the type of product or service that can warrant a demonstration, like a piece of software, go ahead and have that live demo for them. And so once you have all of these pieces of content in your sales toolbox, guess what? You're ready to automate this whole thing online and make it possible for your sales team to virtually reach out to thousands of people at one time and deliver this content in this systematic, strategic way, awareness, consideration, decision. And you can have hundreds of deals in your pipeline at one time with a system like a CRM doing it all for you. So definitely get plugged in here with this content marketing sales funnel. I will be happy to help you with it if you need support. Okay, so next, I want to talk to you about adding multiple streams of income to bring in money to your business. 6 ways here. One is to become a paid affiliate. If there is a piece of software, if there is a service offering, if there is a product that complements what you already do, you can create a relationship with that company. And then every time you sell that piece of software or that product, you get a commission for that. You're an affiliate. And this is a great way to add an extra stream of income to your business. Next is number 2, get paid to become a speaker and to sell books. Now you have a lot of time on your hands. Write a book and get it published on Amazon. You can make hundreds of dollars by publishing books on Amazon and other online retailers like that. Next is number 3, which is a paid membership website. People are willing to pay $35, $75, $150 per month to get plugged into a community, to learn something new, and to make their lives better. So if you have a library of content like videos and ebooks and blogs, maybe you can systematically put that on a website that people are willing to subscribe into. And you can offer masterminds, you can offer webinars, you can offer teleconferences, and just build a community around a certain cause, whatever that cause is. And then number 4, we have to create and sell e-courses. A lot of you have many, many, many years of experience, 10 plus years doing the same thing. You are an expert, okay? And people are willing to pay for your knowledge. So it's time to take that knowledge that you've garnered over the last 10 plus years and turn that into an e-course, and then sell that e-course online to people who are hungry for that information. Also, companies can start implementing trainings online. Instead of having an in-person training, you can have your employees plug into the website and see all of their training online. And that will automate a lot for you and help you save money. And then number 5, we have informational webinars. You can put on webinars like the one you're watching now, but you can charge for them. And then last but not least is to start an e-commerce website. You can plug into a distributor or a manufacturer that sells something that's in high demand, and then create a website that's full of great content about a certain topic, and then drive traffic to your website using paid advertising like Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So on the digital part of this, all of this can be made digital. Your sales process can be made digital using platforms like your website, search engine optimization, getting on the first page of the Google search, using paid advertising on Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can make sure you're getting great online reviews because people look at your online reviews first before they call you. So make sure you have a system in place for getting 5-star reviews on a regular basis. And once you get plugged into all this, you're in a really good spot. You're putting yourself in a great position to survive and to thrive. So again, Bonnie Malden with the Malden Group. We're a professional web design and internet marketing agency. And we are here to help you with your sales and marketing automation. We can help your salespeople plug into a really streamlined process that will put thousands of deals in your pipeline, and they can automatically, systematically close. And so if you're needing this slide, if you're needing a one-on-one with me, I'm happy to help. Contact information is on the screen here, and make sure you're connecting with me on social media. My handle is Malden Group.
Great. Thank you so much, Bonnie. We appreciate you and Lisa and Ben participating in this panel.
And as I believe Lisa mentioned, the marketing plan that we had in January, we've probably all tossed that right out the window. So in the interest of time, I just wanted to see if each of the panelists can tell us, we're all readjusting. Is there one thing that we can do right now that we can implement that can help our businesses? Ben?
Yeah, I think just form a point of view and commit to the change, right? The change is going on your customers, what's going on in your own business. Make a decision and commit to it. A lot of people are still kind of waffling to see what's going to happen. Choose a path. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be wrong, but it'll get you further down the road and you'll adjust as you go. So just to commit to a plan and the assumptions in the market.
Yeah, and I would dovetail off of that to say that clarity of that plan is important, because then you literally Excel it out, chart out what your communication pieces for that plan are going to be, and stick to that and determine where the strength of your message really lies and how that's going to help not only in the delivery, but in the adoption of what that plan is going to look like.
And I would say to tell your story through video, through blogs, through pictures, and consistently post those online so you can get ahead of the competition, and to automate your sales and marketing process so you can be in contact with thousands of people who may be interested in your services and are ready to close a deal with you each and every week.
Great. Thank you so much. Steve, you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I would say this. Bring it home and bring it down to reality. What Ben said is so true. Reach out to your customers, whether you're a service organization like we are at the Chamber or at Roswell Inc., or whether you're a provider of retail or restaurant. Bring it back to significance to that customer. If you're selling them anything, help them. And one of the ways they can help is share with you. I'll all 100 plus on this call today, make sure you share the resources of the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce and Roswell Inc. We're here to help you. So share that. That's a valuable tool, right? Hey, I've got a customer, share that tool and that value. Second thing, most important, Lisa says it very well. Have a plan, but the plan changes. I get up in the morning and sometimes the dog wants to go out and sometimes the dog doesn't want to go out, but I still have to have a plan for the dog, right? So at the end of the day, let's make sure that we pivot, Time Magazine word of the year, but we also are flexible, right? Let's do it. Let's make sure that drives it home. Bonnie's dead set. She's right on it. That fact that, number one, you put it on video. I might get it now, but I might want to see a video later when I'm sitting in my big chair with the dog sitting calmly beside me, right? So I want to watch it then. But more importantly, I want that follow-up. I want to be on a Zoom call like this, and I want to get that later on from John Ray to be able to say, hey, I can listen to that again because there was something Lisa said, and I want to see that chart. So that's really, really important. So visually, for a sales guy like myself, at the end of the day, I got to see it. And for all of us, we adjust our schedules. Some of us do it at 5:30 in the morning, and some of us do it at 11:30 at night. But we catch up. So that video piece is so important and all that. And along with that, because we did have some video sound issues, we'll send you the Vineyard at Johns Creek video out with others things from the Chamber today so that you can watch them. And we appreciate your sponsorship today again. But I will leave you with this. It's always a great day to do business in Roswell, Georgia, but it's even a better day to do business in North Fulton. So support your Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce and support Roswell Inc. We appreciate it. Let's go do business. It's only Thursday, guys. See ya.